Space Squash surprised me. From looking at the box, I didn't suspect this to be such a fun game. It's a bit like tennis, only with no net or rackets, but with flying robots that hit a mine bomb thing between each other. It's really only squash during the boss battles, when there's a wall behind the enemy. One strange thing about this game is the title screen. At the title screen it says press start, but what it doesn't tell you is that you can press select to access options and the training mode. The training mode explains the game, in Japanese of course, and in the options you can set things like difficulty, background graphics and brightness. The object of a match of Space Squash is to get to 3 points first. This is accomplished by one of two means. One is to hit the ball past the enemy 3 times, and the second is that if the enemy gets hit by the ball, he'll get damaged. Enough damage and he'll explode, getting you a point. The object of the boss fights is simply to hit the boss enough times until it dies. There's some panels in the arena that bounce the ball back that you need to look out for, and sometimes there's little boxes that if hit, release power-ups. These power-ups include more health, faster movement and continues. There's a grand total of 75 levels, but you'll only play through 20 of them per game. After the boss battles there's a bonus stage where you hit the ball on panels that give you points, and if you can hit 2 of the same panels in a row, you get more points. If you clear all panels, you get to pick a power-up. Before each stage you select one of 4 powers: shoot, speed, shield and homing. Shoot lets you hit the ball harder, making it harder for the enemy to return it. Speed lets you move faster. Shield puts up a force field that bounces the ball back even if you miss it. And homing, like its name suggests, homes in on the enemy, which is very good to have during boss battles. To use these powers you hold down on the right D-pad until the power is charged, then use it with L or R. Speaking of controls, the game is mostly controlled with just the D-pads. The left one is used to move, and the right one hits the ball. Press different directions to hit it differently. The A and B buttons aren't used at all. The controls are very responsive and easy to use. Using the D-pads feels intuitive, but it can be a little tricky to charge power-ups with down at the same time as returning the ball with left or right. The graphics and 3D effect makes for a really nice feeling of depth. There's 3 background graphics to choose from, but I prefer the default one, the checkerboard. It reminds me a little of Super Glove Ball, but with more depth and space. The graphics are well animated and the ball scales to add to the impression of depth. The music is negligible, it doesn't stick out in any way, but the sound effects work well. I really like this game. It's well designed and fun to play. 20 stages in a row can get a little repetitive, but the challenge increases with each level and with more obstacles and quicker enemies keeping you on your toes. It has a nice arcadey feeling while at the same time having a lot of, shall I say, depth to it. Well done, Coconuts Japan Entertainment.